A short update on the energies, February 21, 2015. As many of you have noticed, this ongoing merger of the inner layers that is taking place now will have many of you sitting up to take notice of the effects this will induce upon your system, and rightly so. For as we have already told you, this period will be one of massive transformation, one where these incoming missiles of energy will interact in a most profound way with your own energetic setup, and as such, the collapse of internal division into a coherent and far more fluid system than the former fragmented one is now finally on its way. So you see, this at times churning sea of chaotic tendencies towards misrepresentation of the actual events is not one that is entirely unfounded, for even if you are all well versed in these recurring periods of energetic upheavals, this will still be considered as one out of the ordinary, if ordinary is indeed a word that can be taken into use for any of these occasions. For as you all know more than well by this stage, every step you take is one that will break through the boundaries set by the previous ones, and as such, let us simply say that even in this long line of extraordinary events, this one will certainly stand out in the crowd. So again we say no, that all is well, even if so much within you may be screaming out in protestation, and even if you may at times feel more than a little alienated from your own being, let alone the world around you. For as these emissaries of light continue to converse with those centers within you that governs these highly complex processes, it will be as if your entire circuit board will be wiped clean more than once, and as such, the sense of being untethered in a very tangible way may become prevalent on more than one occasion for you all. Be that as it may, we still venture to guess that you will find yourself literally bouncing back into full clarity from one moment to the next, when it will be as if the internal fog may dissipate sufficiently for you to get at least a tiny glimpse of the greatness that is now becoming fully unveiled. And when we speak of greatness, it is none other than the very essence of you, the Grand Master that has been hidden away inside this seemingly inconspicuous fleshy vehicle that from the outside still very much defines you as a human. But now, a true revolution is taking place literally under the very surface of this vehicle, for by now, your sense of being human will be literally only skin deep. For from now on, little by little, or rather, at a tempo that is fully in compliance with your own inner workings, these inner secrets will be revealed to you all. And as this process of unveiling will continue to expand at an increasing rate, you will find those former fragments of your inner self beginning to fuse together into one coherent, fully operational set, a complex structure that will begin to run at full speed as soon as you are ready to take that full step across the old divide that still separates you from your own inner values. Again, we speak in convoluted terms, but what we are trying to convey is simply this: what you are becoming now is what has been heralded for eons, for you are finally beginning to finalize the process of unification, the process that has been oft prophesied, but will now finally become reality. And so, as piece after piece is being fused together to that supporting structure that can for the first time become fully operational, you might feel the tugging from something deep within you beginning to stir. For now, what has been lying dormant will indeed begin to make you take notice of it, or rather, of you. For everything that is beginning to come alive now, are parts of you. There is nothing within you that is foreign in any way, as everything you will come into contact with is simply a vital piece of the huge conglomerate that is you in your entirety. So let yourself come alive by allowing the old divisions to melt away, and do not try to hold on to any semblance of the known, for that is merely a futile attempt to stem the flow of evolution that is taking place within the confines of your physical body as well as within your mind. For that is where the old ideas of identity still prefer to linger. But you are no longer to linger within these small and cramped rooms of limitation. Instead, you need to give yourself permission to throw away any and all ideas of who you really are, and to allow the magic that is really you to come out into the open. It may seem to be more than a little daunting for some of you, for the concept of your own greatness is one thing, coming literally face to face with it may seem to be a task that will bring many of you to literally stop in your tracks in hesitation. For what you will see will truly be beyond description, and as such that human mind will still want to protest and balk at the very idea of embracing something that is so far removed from what it still looks upon as the very ideal of existence. But as that is an existence based upon the small list of acceptables that are still being used to define mankind, This will literally blow the doors off to something that is so far from being the norm. It will take some hard work for many of you to step past that old demarcation line of what you think is real or not even plausible. So again we say no, that the only way to step across that line once and for all is to truly allow yourself to do so. And in order to find the courage to do just that, you need to be able to fully connect with that inner sanctum of your being who will tell you beyond any shadow of any doubts you might care to conjure up that there is no way that this will not be fully sanctioned by you, the one and only voice of reason that is applicable on this journey. For the answer to this quest for reason is one that will only be found within you. It is not something that you need to be given permission to experience by anyone else, nor can anyone but you allow you to take this step. For this step must be taken, but it can only be taken if you say yes with all of your heart. For once taken, there is no going back, and as such, the one you used to be will no longer be available to you. And so, the inner resistance from those parts of you that know they will become obsolete the moment this decision is finally taken will still try to persuade you to hold off making that choice, or to deny yourself even the possibility to do so. And no wonder, as these parts of you have been there as a sort of lifesaver in many a previous incarnation, when the call to step more fully into the light would mean almost certain extinction by the forces still set on keeping mankind fully out of their know from their own greatness. But now, the time has come for all of you to open as wide as you can for you, and to allow the full unfolding of your inner greatness to take place. And as such, there will be no room for hesitation, only for allowance to let you take all the place you really need in order to fulfill this quest for total transformation of this entire planet. For some, this may sound as a recipe for disaster, as for them, this will sound like an invitation to allow your ego to balloon into such proportions. There will be little or no room for others, and all this will imply, is a planet where a small number of people will usurp the space from everyone else. But that is not the case here, for when we talk about taking up space, it will not be at the expense of others. Rather, this is to imply that only by allowing yourself to fully embody the light that you already carry within you, can you help others to see the way forwards. In other words, in order for all of you to become the shining examples that will help to show the rest of mankind the only feasible way out of the detrimental chaos they have all been a part of creating, you can no longer hold yourself back. For only when you allow that inner greatness to step out from the small container it has been compressed within can the release of your light help to set free so many others as well. So again we say allow yourself to become the you are here to be, and only by letting that inner greatness come to the fore, will this completion become complete. And now, you will all be put before that very decision: are you ready to go up in full bloom, or are you still more set on staying dormant a little bit longer, hidden away in that dark loam where you have been patiently waiting to come fully alive for such a long time? The decision is all yours, but once it is taken, it is one that will affect all. So once again we say no, that you are not a small and insignificant speck of dust in the vastness of creation. You are in fact the one that everything hinges on. For you are all the change makers, the ones that came to this planet in order to make everything new again after a long, long detour into the old and dense corners of darkness. So allow the light that is within you help you to decide, for again, it is only you who can say yes to you. The rest of creation has already embraced the magnificence that is the true you, and there is nothing we would want more than for you to be able to do the same. A short update on the energies, February 17, 2017. As many of you have noticed already, the heightened anticipation that is announcing the arrival of these new frequencies will make their voices heard in many ways. For some, the irritation it causes may feel like an itch you cannot scratch, because the vibrations themselves will set off reactions in your body that can be likened to an indefinable irritation that you do not know where it stems from, but that will cause your attention to be drawn to it anyway. For others, you will feel the highs of an euphoric uplift that may suddenly be replaced by an unexpected low, one that will cause your mind to cast about trying to find an explanation for this sudden dip in emotional temperature, but it will be an explanation it will fail to find, for there will be no identifiable cause for it anyway. Nevertheless, your mind will likely find a hook to latch onto, something that is already there, and it will try its hardest to make it loom even bigger in your thoughts. In other words, This is a period of much fluctuation and of much fabrication of thoughts and ideas that are merely figments of your imagination, blown out of proportion by the advent of these new frequencies. For as we have already told you, the forerunners of these emissaries are already here, and what they signal to you, will set so much astir within with this mere whisper of the magnitude of this incoming flow of light, it is apt to once again trigger a whole host of false alarms within so many of you. For as you're already well versed in by now, the human psyche has been well adapted to the old idea of shunning change at all cost, and now, as these incoming missives of that exact message are already beginning to be noticed by your own inherent alarm system that is yet to be fully deactivated, it will cause quite a stir in so many of you. For some, it will be like a veritable avalanche of alarm bells going off, left, right and center at the same time, and so, you may be apt to go into panic mode. Be that as it may, we are once again here to remind you all that these procedures will always cause a whole host of side effects when they arrive, and so, our role is once again to remind you that all of this noise is simply a signal of the beneficial effects that these emissaries actually will have. For they bring on change in every way you can think of, and the change they bring with them is always one that is initiated by the light quotient that they carry with them. And this time, you can expect another record-breaking event to occur, as this round of enlightenment not only builds upon every single one that has come your way before, it will also bring you all to a very new level of energetic transformation yet again. Yes, we know our words are repetitious, but remember, so too is this process, as it continues to build layer upon layer of light upon that sturdy foundation you have already been so successful in setting up, and as such, we hardly bring you news in the form of some unexpected event to take place. Rather, we come through to give you an update on the current event as it were ahead of time, so that you can maintain focus throughout the event itself. For remember, even if you are prepared, some of these inoculations of light will still take you by surprise by way of the actual effect they will have upon you once they arrive in full force. And this time, we venture to guess it will have just this kind of unexpected effect on quite a few of you. For by now, you are all seasoned mariners, used to navigate in these waters that are at turns calm and soothing but also more than a little choppy, but this time, we think you will all find your navigational skills being challenged in one way or the other. Again, this is not said in order to raise any unnecessary alarms in any of you. No, we say this in order to state clearly that you are all fully equipped to handle any such storm no matter how hard the winds may blow around you, and your vessel is capable of weathering out the mightiest of squalls and the roughest of seas, but your mind might once again take upon itself to try to tell you otherwise. So again we say know that all is well, and even if you do find yourself torn between trust and doubt, know that you will know the difference between any superficial anxiety that may be triggered during this upcoming event and the full knowledge of your own capability that always will be there deep in your heart. For you all know more than well just how magnificent you really are, and no matter how hard you might get pummeled about by these benevolent swells of light, your inner core will never be shaken. So take some time to remind yourself of this very fact in the time ahead, and take time to sit back, draw a deep breath, close your eyes and connect to that core whenever your turmoil seems to escalate to a brand new level. For when it does, know that this is simply a signal that your own vessel is registering the arrival of these emissaries, the ones that never bring you anything but the best of news, the ones that always have your best interest at heart. For this is done for you, to switch around on one of our regular sayings, all of these at times unsettling arrivals always come to you in order to help you to achieve the goal you set before you even before you arrived on these shores. For even if these emissaries may arrive in a manner that may serve to unsettle you in every sense of the word, what they will bring with them, will actually help you to settle even better into your role as the change-makers you truly are. In other words, this seemingly endless parade of energetic injections is simply administering the fuel you all need to literally go all the way. These are the booster rockets that arrive just in time to give you all the frequential lift you need in order for you to lift yourself and this entire planet to a whole new level. For this is what we do for you in order for you to be able to do everything else. For what we do, is to supply you with any tools that might be needed for you to complete this gargantuan task, and what you do, is to choose the tools and to put them into use in such a way, this entire turnaround operation can run as smoothly as possible. And make no mistake, even if this physical process of integrating every subsequent set of new frequencies that arrive on these shores through your very own physical vehicle will time and again show itself to have some rather unsettling effects on said physical vehicle and indeed on your mental and emotional capacities, it is in no way detrimental to the process in itself. Far from it. For as we like to remind you, you are made of strong stuff indeed, and your capacity to digest huge amounts of this booster fuel has been more than proven in the times past. And so, we think you will find yourself settling quickly into this new pace in the best kind of way, no matter the amount of unpleasantness that may be caused by this increase in forward momentum in the time ahead. For remember, this is all done according to a carefully tailored plan, one that is set up in agreement with each and every one of you to ensure the optimal effect from every single one of these increases in vibration, and as such, even if the transition from one frequency to the next will at times shake you up more than a little, it will soon settle down into a steady rhythm once again. And so too it will be this time, even if some of you might find the transition period to be overly intense at times. So therefore we want to remind you all that there is always a way to lessen these somewhat unsettling effects. And as usual, the best balm to help to smooth out the intense pummeling that these incoming waves may have upon your body, will be to reach out to those around you that sing to the same tune as you. In other words, the more you are able to connect not just with that inner knowing, but also with that entire field you are so deeply connected to by now, the less you will feel the effects of these waves. For then, it will be as if they will be far better assimilated into your system, as the entire field will act as a breaker if you will, lessening the impact of these huge swells. So again we say know when to step back and go within, and know when to reach out for the support of the others, and oftentimes, these two actions may best occur simultaneously. For this deep connection is an internal one that is going by way of your innermost center, and through that, to the heart center of every single individual you have become closely connected to through this long process of awakening the desire to be so connected yet again after such a prolonged exposure to the way of life as a singular entity, unable to connect with yourself, and even less so with others. So again we say, go deep, for that is where the calm waters of knowingness always will be, for that is where you are all fully connected, both to your own core and to that of the others. And no matter how hard the winds will blow yet again, and as we said earlier on in this missive, expect them to reach epic proportions this time around, you will never be blown off course. Instead, you will simply find yourself being propelled even faster towards that shore you see coming so tantalizingly closer and closer. So let this wind fill your sails, and know that you are as safe out on this sea as if you were already snug in that new harbor that awaits you. For you are all set to set a record speed, and so, these incoming winds will help you to reach that target in record time. So let the winds push you in the back, and give yourself time to rejoice for the fact that the only reason these winds may appear at all to help to boost you even further, is because you are the ones who have enabled their arrival. For remember, you are the ones setting the pace and the trajectory of this journey, as once again you have chosen to allow the pace to pick up even more than what we would have predicted at this stage. And so, what you have chosen will come to pass, and through that, everything else will be elevated alongside you, and again, mere words are not enough to convey the gratitude that this will engender. For what you do for all, and as such, your singular presence on these shores have an effect that encompasses all of creation, and for that, we offer you the gratitude of all. For you are the ones that will make us all shine even brighter, for what you bring about, is a shift in frequency that will literally touch at the heart of creation in such a way, no thing nor no one will ever be the same because of what you do and because of who you are. So know that once again all eyes are upon you and the magnificent deeds you are about to accomplish, and remember, there is no need to expect anything less than perfection, for that is what you have proven to be and to do every single step of the way, and so too in this. And as usual, this has already been accomplished, but in order for it to come fully into being, it needs to be taken in through your physical vehicle, and that is what is on the agenda once more. So take a deep breath and welcome these emissaries of light, for they will help you all to do just that, and they will give you that mighty push you have requested in order for this tall order to become fully operational, and we can already say, it is so, and so it is. For what comes around is already here, and now, you will make it be so for all.